Welcome to the home of the DIY movement, where we build stuff and paint things.
All right, y'all, it's way back Wednesday, man, where we last left off. The 63 is painted. Of course, this picture is a little on down the road, but we're going to get to it. In this video, we're going to talk about assembly after paint. So let's get into it. So, man, once it was painted, now it's time to put it all together, man. So what I did is I ordered a Ciadella kit, and I had this dash pad wrapped locally, which they did a really good job, man. I mean, to do that in one piece is no easy task. To get that curve on the passenger side, that is no easy task, man. A lot of people sometimes put a seam through it, or they send it out and it gets like vacuum, I don't know what you would call it, put in some vacuum chamber, and it kind of sucks it out like a, what's the word, kind of like how you do those meat Ziploc bags that suck all the air out so you can store meat for a long time. And but they did a good job. So that goes on the dash first before anything. Easier to do with no windshield, obviously. Before we get any further in the video, man, I just mentioned that I had bought a Ciadella interior kit. So you guys remember this Lincoln from a couple weeks back? Man, I was at a crossroads with the 63, excuse me, where the free labor part was done, and now it's getting to the part where we have to start buying new stuff, man. And it's kind of hard up for cash, so I end up selling this town car to kind of get me over the hump to finish up the 63, because man, that interior kit, I mean, back then it was like, I don't know, man, 2600 or something like that. Now it's probably like 3600. So this selling this car helped me get over the hump. And I want to say the guy's name that bought it was Ernie in either Georgetown or Round Rock. I want to say Georgetown. I believe he passed away, unfortunately. He bought the car, I think off of like Lay It Low. I had it advertised or something, or Craigslist or something. And he sent a transport, a guy with a trailer to come get it. And so I never met him at that point. But when fast forward, man, I don't know how many years, me and my buddy with the 59, Holy Smoke 59, Johnny, I found him the Lincoln Town Coupe online that he has now. And I didn't even know it was this guy. It was the same dude. So we rode out, I want to say it was Georgetown, Texas, which is like 3 hours away. And we went out there and to the dude's house, and we ended up buying the car, man. So I finally met him, and real cool guy, man. And we talked about the Lincoln. He's like, man, I love that car, and this and that. And he's a big Lincoln dude, so he had that, and plus the one the coupe, town coupe, that we ended up buying. And I believe shortly after that, I forgot who told me, we got word that he passed away, man. So it was real unfortunate. Hate to hear it, but he was a real good dude. I want to say his name was Ernie, if my memory serves me right. So anyways, I had to sell the Lincoln to fund the 63. So I got the Ciadella kit, and I took it to a local place. And in hindsight, looking at the work, I could have done this. Doing my own seat covers wasn't even on my radar at the time. But looking at the pictures of it, I could have done those seats, with the seat covers and foam or whatever. I basically did the same thing in the 60. So they did good work. These rear armrests, I wouldn't even try and do. I'd take them because I really struggled with these pieces on the 60. So kind of got to pick and choose your battles and what you think you can accomplish and not. This next picture right here, we got a serious problem with this back seat, man. So when we bought the car, it didn't have the the little side pieces that go next to the seat, between the seat and the quarter panel. And so without that there, there's no way to tell what you have as far as a back seat. So I dropped them off in 2-door hardtop seat covers, and when I picked them up, they looked like that. I was like, man, it's kind of wonky, right? And then right where the speaker goes, it was ripped, and I was like, man, dude, I wonder what's going on with that. And so when I picked them up, the guy was like, I mean, you brought us the seat and you brought us the cover and we put it on. So then I was like, man, okay, I guess, it's not your fault. You used the stuff that I brought. So I came home and I was like, man, something's up, man. So I got with Joe. I got with the previous owner, and I want to say he had to get with the owner before him. And we finally got to the bottom of it. And what it is that seat right there is a 4-door seat. It's a sedan seat. It's wider. So they made a 2-door seat cover fit a sedan seat, and that's why it looks stretched. So later on, I don't know if I have a picture, but later, yeah, actually I do. I sourced out a seat. I want to say I got it from Last Minute Customs in Houston, and I took it back and they put it on, and it looked 1,000 times better. It looked how it's supposed to look. So that was a learning experience right there. Here's a little picture of the badge that I have. I still have this badge. I have it on the Cadillac. It's gold plated now, but I've had this badge for, man, a long time. The guy gave it to me on Lay It Low back then, and I've just kept it. But I had to slap that on there. I just wanted to include this picture. All right, so I think after that we moved on to glass, and I want to say I didn't buy the whole kit like Bobby did. I want to say I kind of pieced it together. I don't think I re-chromed the vent windows, so I just kind of figured out what I needed to buy to make it complete, and I did. And I want to say I went with green glass, and we got all the stainless on, the belt moldings right there you can see, and the drip rail, and we got the glass in. This was still kind of fresh, doing it on the 62 prior, so I was like, we can do this ain't hard. So we did that. Driver's side, everything's looking good, and man, using original equipment really comes in clutch at this stage of assembly. And I have one more picture here of the side glass. Looks good. Everything lines up good. Everything fit good, and we're moving right along, man. So the glass is in. I want to say the side trim is on. We have an interior kit. We're ready to throw the interior in, and we're moving right along towards finishing this car. Here's a shot of the front windshield stainless clips with a new headliner tack strip that I screwed into the car to be able to attach the headliner. So the windshield is in. We use the string method. We've been doing it since way back then. Boom, new glass. So man, once you put new glass in the car, like you guys seen with Bobby's car, it really brings the car to life. It starts looking like a car now. So that's the back glass. Back bumpers I had re-chromed. Man, back then we'd get them. 3-piece rear bumper was $350, and the front bumper was $350. For $700, you get both original bumpers re-chromed. Since then, prices doubled. But we're moving right along, and so we got glass in, and we're starting to put the shiny stuff on. And this car had 6-way power seat as well, man, just like the 62. And if you guys been following the channel for a while, man, I've given away secrets on these power seats, man. There's no reason, there's no need to go out and buy a 61, a quote, 61 through 64 Impala 6-way power seat. There's no need to buy that. You can do a GM 6-way power seat. It's all the same crap. You can get it out of a different car. You can get it out of Cadillac. Only thing different is going to be that seat trim. But as far as the tracks, as long as your cables reach, your floor pan and your tracks, then you're good. So you can get you can get 6-way power seats on the cheap. I mean, you're still going to spend a couple $100, you know, a few hundred, but you're not going to spend the $800 or $900 that these guys are selling or trying to sell on eBay or Facebook or whatever, calling them Impala power seats, because they're not. I mean, they may have been, but that's not the only thing that works. A GM 6-way power seat will fit. And as long as your cables reach, like I said, you're good. And if they don't, you can buy replacement cables, or if you're a fabricator, you can extend your own cables. So, tech tip, giveaway. Moving right along, man, to the front end, I bought a brand new grill assembly, which I'm probably going to have to do with the current 63. Like I said, had a rebuilt 283. We kept the original single reservoir master cylinder, 2-speed wiper motor, and I remember, man, I couldn't get the damn thing to start. And if you guys remember, on one of the early way back Wednesdays when I had the silver 64 convertible, I couldn't get it to start, and it was because the distributor was in 180 degrees backwards. And same thing with this, man. Try to get it to start, and you know, end up like flooding it, starter fluid and all that. Flooded it, had to wait, you know, and then I was like, man, I had my friend over at the time. You can see his Cadillac in the background there. I ended up putting hydraulics on it for him. We switched to the distributor 180, and the damn thing cranked right up, man. Cranked up, ran great. So I'm like, man, we're good. Like, if it starts, you know, like that's all I need, man, is now I can build off of that. And you know, it did, like I said previously, I did the American Auto Wire, but I didn't do the classic update. I did kind of like the original plug and play. So everything fit, everything, you know, terminated where it needed to be. So was able to wire everything up. That single reservoir master cylinder came to bite me in the butt, and we're going to get into that. Yeah, so we're moving right along, man. The fender is on. Fenders are on. And what I got to say about this picture right here is if you have original fenders, preferably original to the car, second best is going to be an OEM fender from another car. And of course, lastly is going to be a reproduction. The OEM stuff is going to fit so much better. I mean, I'm sure you guys heard it over and over again, but man, they just, everything lines up much better. Even if you have to do a lower patch, you know, or work out some dents or something, try and use original equipment. This picture right here looks like I had it taped off. Looked like we were wet sanding and buffing. And I ran original hubcaps at first on this car. It was just going to be a stock restoration, I guess you can call it, or stock-ish with the shaved firewall. That didn't last very long. I didn't put hydraulics on it, but we did put some 13s we'll get to in a little bit. But man, we're coming up on I don't know, 16 minutes or so. This is another picture of the car. You know, it was done. It was driving on hubcaps, and man, do I have a story about this. And I mentioned it previously, and I know some people might follow the channel and remember me mentioning this, or have actually brought it up. So once this car was done, I mean, it ran great. You know, it running and driving wasn't a problem. I would use it to just buzz around in, basically with no destination. Remember, we would take it to Specs a few times and get something to drink and just buzz around the little small town we live in. And one time, me and my wife, we took it out. I don't even remember where we were going, but we got on the highway, and remember, if watching these way backs, I had the frame powder coated with the brake lines on them. Okay, and because they look fine, they literally looked fine. And I was like, man, there's no sense in taking this off. If it looks fine, like, just blast it and coat it, and when I get it back, I'll blow it out, and run it. So that's what I did. And single reservoir master cylinder, because I bought, on the front end, I bought the new lines, that go around the cross member and all that, repop to fit a single reservoir master cylinder. So anyways, the car's running and driving. We're on the highway doing about 70, and where we live, it's pretty rural. There's not, well, now it's getting, developed, but back then it was really rural. And we're just cruising along, man, on the highway. The thing float like a boat, not a care in the world. And I think we were gonna exit, and I went to kind of pump the brake a little bit to get ready to exit, probably going about 70. And I pushed the brake, and the brake went to the floor, and I was like, oh, that didn't feel good. That ain't supposed to happen. And I didn't run emergency brakes. So the brake applied, and it slowed the car down a little bit, but it went to the floor. So pedal came back up. I pushed it again, and it applied, but it didn't slow the car down. Couple more times, and man, the pedal's to the floor, and I have no pedal, and we're still going probably like, I don't know, 50 maybe on the highway with no brakes, like zero brake, zero e-brake. So I was like, shit. And no seat belts either, and not that would save us in that car, but it's like, shit, I ain't got no brakes. And I looked at her, and she was like, what? I said, I ain't got no brakes. So boom, turned the car off. And luckily, by the grace of God, we were in a very remote area, and there was nobody around. Because if we were in the city, in Houston or somewhere on the freeway, 610 or something, man, it would have been bad. So turn the car off, and we're coasting. But since it's on the factory, wheels and hubcaps, that thing could coast for a really long time, So it coasted, man, for probably like a mile. And we were actually on our way back home. So it coasted past the exit onto the next exit, and we're dropping speed, so now we're like around 30 miles an hour, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling like I'm not finna die. We're gonna make it home, or we're gonna get home one way. So then it coasted, eventually started losing speed, and I was able to take the next exit and pulled over, and finally came to a stop. Like, had to pull over. If I remember right, I pulled over like halfway in the grass just to get the thing to stop, man. Came to a stop. At that point, we were like 5 miles from the house. And like I say, we could take back roads. And it's like, man, I don't think I had AAA or didn't have any way to tow, nobody to call. So I was like, well, I guess we'll just idle home. So I started back up, and put it in drive, and I just let the thing idle, and we're going like 5 miles an hour, and we idled all the way home, man. We had to run. We ran a few stop signs, so like I know I'm coming up on a stop sign, like I'm riding the horn, because you can't see around the corner because there's a lot of trees and stuff out here. So I'm just riding the horn, hoping there's nobody that's gonna meet us at the intersection, and there wasn't. And I just coasted home. I coasted all the way home. I turned on our street, and we're still idling, coasting with no brake. And I want to say when I turned on the street, it's probably an eighth of a mile. I turned the car off, and by the time the car came to a stop, I turned in the driveway, and we made it, and we made it home. And I was like, man, wow. So I pushed the car in the shop, and I was like, what the hell happened? Because I mean, at that point, I still didn't know what happened. I mean, obviously I didn't have brakes, but you know why? And so I pushed it in the shop here, and I excuse me, I don't think I put it on the lift. I used a jack. I got under the car and I looked, and there was brake fluid on the top of the frame dripping down. And I put my hand up there, and I felt it was all, you know, wet or whatever. So I put some more fluid in the reservoir, and I had her pump the brake, and it shot out, and it had a pinhole. It had a pinhole in the brake line that corroded from the inside out. It didn't corrode from the outside in, because like I say, it was sandblasted and powder coated, and it looked fine. So it was corroded from the inside out, and the pressure developed a pinhole leak with a single reservoir cylinder that's powering 4 drum brakes. Now, you know, you have dual reservoir, so if you lose your back brakes, you still have your fronts. If you lose your fronts, you still have your back. You can still somehow come to a stop. But with a single reservoir master cylinder like that, you can't. You got one tank, and you're out of fluid. So man, I said, you know, after that, I said, man, never again will I trust original brake lines, which was stupid from the start, you know. But I mean, if they look fine, why would you replace them? But yeah, I would never trust that crap again. If we were in the city, we would have for sure crashed in that car with no seat belts, and who knows what would have happened. Luckily, we were out in the wide open, and we were able to turn the car off and just coast to a stop and limp home. And that's what I really remember about this car, more than the repaint and all that, and the back seat being the 4-door and all that crap. What I remember most about this car is driving on the highway at 70 miles an hour and completely losing brakes. That'll really make you question if you know what you're doing. But anyways, man, that's gonna wrap up this assembly video. We got a couple more videos. I think I'm gonna do one more of this 63. One more way back Wednesday where we talk about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, man. I hope you guys learned something. You guys are buying these cars, you know, that were restored in the 80s or whatever, or maybe original, and you got a single reservoir cylinder. Man, you need to upgrade. When I see cars for sale, these guys are asking 40 grand, and under the hood's got a single reservoir master cylinder. The shit is trash, and I'm trying to tell you, you need to upgrade. You don't got to do 4-wheel disc brakes. You don't even got to do disc in the front, but you gotta at least redo the brake lines, man. It may seem like a no-brainer for a lot of people, but there's a lot of people out there who think, well, the car has stopped, so it's good, and that's not the case, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this way back Wednesday, man. Y'all stay tuned for the next one.